What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Young Twan, and I'm back with another video. So a bit of a change in scenery. I had to go see my family in Paris, but here I am. I got this new video for you guys today. So today I have this sample, which is really kind of like some Drake, Young Thug, like dark type of vibe. And I added some slapping Boi1da, cardo type of drums. So I'm just gonna show y'all how like kind of Boi1da, cardo would make like a beat for Drake or Young Thug. From scratch, I'm gonna break down the sample and then show you guys the drums. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So before we go any further, I'm just gonna play you guys the final sample. This is what it sounds like. So yeah, let's break it down. So first, what I started with Analog Lab, and I went and picked this preset right here. It's a preset called Distractions, and it was made by Kill September. And here are the chords. This is what it sounds like without any effects. So for these, I didn't play these in, I actually clicked those in. And a good tip for you guys, if you want to like humanize your stuff and you can't play, you can only click the melodies in. What you want to do, you want to do Shift M, and that's basically gonna like randomly pick certain notes. Because if you always do Alt S to strum or Alt R to randomize the velocities, you're always gonna have like the same systematic type of like, you know what I mean, strumming. So if you really wanted to, you know, give it even more of a humanized feel, you want to like do Shift M, and it will randomly pick a selection of notes, and you want to strum this selection of notes and mess around with the velocities of this selection of notes. And then, you know, you can go around and play with clicking Shift M multiple times. So, you know, to really get that humanized feel. So to that, I added some effects. I added a bunch of EQs for no reason, really. I have an EQ cutting some lows, as you hear. This one cutting some frequencies here, another one here, and then cutting a lot of the highs. I got a question in one of my previous videos why I use like parametric EQ and like the Fab Filter EQ. The reason is I feel like the parametric EQ is not as good as the Fab Filter. So when I really want to get rid of like almost damn near everything, I use the Fab Filter. As you can see, I use it a lot of the time when I take out the low end, because I really want to get rid of all the low end. And as you can hear in this preset, there was kind of like some noise or like a texture in the very high end, and I kind of want to get rid of that, but I still want to keep some elements of it. So I used the parametric EQ, which is going to take a lot of it out but still leave some of it. So with the effects, it sounds like this. So yeah, as you can hear, it really is that kind of like OVO, Boi1da type of sound. So next up, I opened up Analog Lab and I picked this set preset. It's in one of the Louis Flynn loophole banks. It's a really tough preset, and I basically copied the chords, but this time I arpeggiated them, kind of like, you know, just to kind of give it like some movement. So this is what it sounds like. So yeah, you know, just to give it some more movement and some more texture, now I added some effects to it. I added a halftime with this one bar, and I'm pretty sure I messed around with this smooth knob right here. I turned it down to 148 milliseconds in effects. Then I added this reverb intensity from Arturia. I added this wah maker preset but I turned the dry and wet knob to around like, you know, a quarter of the way. Then I added a Fab Filter EQ just to boost you know, the mids and the high mids a tiny bit and cut the low frequencies. And then I added this Valhalla reverb, turning down the mix to like 30%. And yeah, this is what it sounds like now. And then afterwards, I added this contact sound. I don't know why my contact is like acting up, it's doing a madness on me. And I can't open the exact like bank that I had open, but I'm not even sure I included this in a final sample, so we can really skip past that. So next up, I went into Arcade and I went into one of these warped banks. And yeah, here it is. I picked this sound right here, A4, and without any effects, this is what it sounds like. So this sound sounded kind of saturated and it sounded very, I don't know, I knew it had potential, but I wasn't really fucking with it like straight out the gate. So I added this Murder Melodies Up, Up, and Away preset. I turned down the mix right here to about 37%. Then I added a Good Hertz Low High, which is basically a low pass filter. It gets rid of some of the highs. I added an EQ to get rid of these like frequencies right here. And then I added a Waves pre-child compressor to do a bit of negative compression because it was too loud, and you know, just to glue all the effects back together. And this is what it sounds like now. So yeah, I really prefer how this one turned out. And then finally, I went into Analog Lab and I picked this Maniac preset, again from one of the loophole banks, and I basically copied the same MIDI from the first Analog Lab, and yeah, but this time it was an arpeggiated preset, so without any effects, this is what it sounds like. So yeah, it sounds very just all over the place and stuff, but I added some effects. I added a halftime with the swell at 197 milliseconds. I added a reels with this low-high preset. I added a Valhalla room. I added a pre-child compressor again, doing some negative compression again, and then a stereo 1 imager because I thought the sound was a little too shallow, so I wanted to really stereoize it. And then I added an EQ, cutting some of the lows out and some of these frequencies right here. And this is what it sounds like now. So yeah, it gives it a lot more texture, a lot more bounce. So yeah, then I ended up rendering the arcade sound because it wasn't fully quantized and stuff. I had to do a bit of chopping right there. Nothing too crazy, but then I just arranged it, as you can see right here, and finally ended up bouncing it out. And I added these final effects to it. So I added a spin plugin from Clevgrand. It's a really tough plugin with this palm preset, but I turned the mix down to around 10%. I added a reels with just the default preset. I messed around, I'm pretty sure, with some of the wild flutter and harshness. And then I added a pre-child compressor again, an EQ cutting some of the lows out, and then a Good Hertz wow control just to kind of add, you know, a bit more of that detuned tape effect type of sound. So I'm gonna show you guys the start of the sample without any effects and with the effects. Well, I mean, you've heard with the effects, but without the effects, it sounds like this. And now with the effects. It sounds a lot more vintage and, you know, just a lot more airy and ominous, and yeah, it just sounds better. So now I'm gonna show you guys the drums. Okay, so here I have the beat. As you can see, I made the sample at 139 BPM. I decided to slow it down at 130. Here is the percussion pattern. So, you know, very, very bouncy. I was really trying to go for that kind of like Boi1da cardo type of sound. And here we have the 808s. So this is what the 808s sound like. So yeah, so now I arranged it in a bit of a funny way. I had this like 8-bar intro with the drums without any 808s. Then I have this part of the sample, and then I have the hook and the verse. It's not really a typical arrangement, but yeah, I'm gonna just play for you guys. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, I ended up pitching it up 100 cents, and yeah, I didn't do anything crazy, you know, just an EQ, getting rid of some of the lows, I'm guessing, yeah. And then a soft clipper on the master, just an EQ, getting rid of the highs of the 808. And then really it's all about leveling your sounds, you know? So yeah, here it sounds like. So yeah, it's really all about, you know, playing around with this A and B parts that I have in the sample and adding some slapping drums to it, and there you have it. So yeah guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys could take 1 or 2 things away from it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so let's keep running up the subscribers. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for future videos, make sure to leave them down in the comments. That's it from me today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.